Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Okay, so I should be live again right now. And okay, right now. Test, test. All right, so this should work. This should work. Just let me know if it doesn't. So I'm going to pop up my chat here. Okay, great. All right, test, test. If let's say the line is okay, please let me know. Because it's kind of a bit tough to check whether the line is healthy or not right now. So yeah, just let me know. All right, thank you, Hakim, and great to be back. Okay, so what happened? I was doing some diagnostics, okay, because normally my computer is set up to connect to Twitch, all right. But I think YouTube is acting very weird tonight. I did a test, and even normal YouTube channels are acting weird. So I think it's really the whole YouTube thing. Then again, I'm quite impressed because YouTube has a lot of videos to handle concurrently. It's just kind of crazy, you know. All right. Anyway, we're back and we can start our lessons. And do bear in mind that this is going to be a very casual one. You know, I might do different stuff on stream depending on how things go. All right. So to explain the concept of minimal pair, right? So I'm going to go very slow and I'm going to describe how this works, all right? So basically when it comes to sounds, sometimes the sound will be realized as a different sound depending on the language you use or the accent you use, and it is pronounced very differently in different parts of a word. Now this is very language dependent and this is very accent dependent as well, all right? So okay, I have some of my students asking me if I made a statement or a question. Oh my god. All right, so where were we? So you want to prove whether or not the sound has a different realization. So the concept of minimal pair is that you find at least another pair of words that show that that particular sound does indeed exist in another and a similar environment, all right? So k, for example, right? So for the Malay pronunciation of k, we pronounce it as an at the end of a word, only in the Malay language, all right? So for instance, we have words like kakak. So to prove that this is unique not just to the word but to the entire language, you have to find other words with the same pattern. So for example, kakak, and then peka, and then letak, and then takna, and then hendak. So this proves, you know, that at the end of every word, you have the pattern going on. So that's your minimal pair there. It's very simple, actually. It is a very, I would say, bombastic concept, but it's actually not that bad at all. Right? Any other questions? Or maybe I should play a game while while you guys ask me things. I don't know. All right. Any other questions? I guess. Okay, what is the most problematic chapter for everybody? All right, English example of minimal pair would be for the aspiration, all right? Okay. I'm not able to type this right now, but let's say you have the p, right? So in English, you have this p, and you have p with the small h. It's not ph, but the h is like superscript and then small, all right? So you have the stronger p. So you have, for example, words like, did you pack it up? Pack, pack. So at the beginning of a syllable, the p is stronger. So pin, or you pick something, or you pluck something, or you point at someone, or you have a pen. Whereas, for example, words like, you snap at something, snap, 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 snap. You say snap. You don't have snap. You just say snap. When you say pin, 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 the p is very strong. All right, pick, pluck, point, pen. Poverty, that's a good example. That's a nice word, by the way, Hakim. All right. So those are minimal pairs for English. You're trying to prove that there's the strong P at the beginning of English words, all right? So yeah, that's a minimal pair in English. So very good question, Sabik. I enjoy that one. Okay, any other questions? Oh, Fasiha has a very good question. Is it only for the letter P? All right, English has quite a few actually. Oh, this is a very good question, Fasiha. You're actually challenging my knowledge here in a good way. Minimal pair, let me see. Hold on a sec. Although I would say there are not many. All right, there are not that many in English. Let me see. Proper obvious ones, there are not that many actually. The real phonetic ones. The ones you study are mostly like later in Gombak, depending on your lecturer. I think there's a lecturer named by the name of Dr. Ruby in Gombak. Full name Dr. Rabiatul Adawiyah, but people call her Dr. Ruby, right? So she does something called language acquisition, basically how people acquire language, how kids pronounce language. So in that world, you have minimal pairs, for example, among, I would say, among English speaking kids, they would normally confuse fan and van. And this is because the mind kind of processes them as minimal pairs. But that's a more advanced version of minimal pair, actually. But that's the phonetic minimal pair. We're talking about the whole phonological minimal pair. There aren't many, actually, in English. And usually how it's asked is that they will give you the words, or they will give you the sounds, and then within the sounds given, you're asked to detect which one are the minimal pairs. It's more like a game of finding, finding the matching pair. If that makes sense. Okay, any other questions so far? What do you mean Tinder? Like ver and fur. Yeah, ver and fur, it would be a minimal pair for English speaking children, which is why they mix up fur and ver. Whereas kids, Malaysian kids, kalau minimal pair for learning, that's why you have some kids say they nak shushu instead of susu. Yeah, that's the case. But that's a different kind of minimal pair we're going to talk about, all right? Give and gift. Oh, that's a different kind of minimal pair. That's why what we cover in minimal pair in our syllabus is actually very, very basic. When you go to the higher level, all right? Let's say, I don't know, anyone here is interested in what you call this? Is there anyone here interested in speech therapy or development of children's languages? If you're into that kind of thing, then you can go very deep. For example, why is it that children pronounce susu as shushu, for example, on all that kind of stuff? Yeah, they have a different way of looking at minimal pairs. It's not like homophone. It's not homophone is when two words sound exactly the same, then you confuse them. But in minimal pairs, because there's a similarity based on, maybe the words share the same place of articulation, or maybe they share the same manner of articulation. So when the tongue is not used to differentiating the two places, you just go to the easy one. But that's a very complex one. Okay, Madiha, what did you ask about Maxim, by the way? I think the questions went away when it got disconnected. Okay, I think you asked about manner, right, earlier? Okay, if you were asking about Maxim of manner, manner is all about truthfulness. No. Manner is all about, yeah, truthfulness, which is quite simple. Let's say, for example, if you're sick, and then somebody asks you, are you okay? You say you're okay. That's not really the right answer, right? So you have a reason for answering. Yeah, like how are you, but you ask it to someone who's sick, and then the person say he or she is okay. Uh Not straight to the point, but more like you give the expected answer. All right. Whereas quality would mean that, okay, Madi has a very good question. Okay, sarcasm depends. Sometimes you can flout different maxims, not necessarily quality. All right. Now, quality is all about the order of things. All right. So, to give an analogy, okay, schema is something else. Schema determines what's in the maxim. All right. So let's say, for example, okay, when you take wudu, all right. So when you ambil wudu, you niat dulu. Not now, you basuh tangan, and then you berkumur, and then you niat sambil and all that, right? Now, in talking or explaining things, you explain in a certain order. Let's say, how do you walk from Mahala Azdah all the way to, let's say, student center? All right, so you would say that from the Mahala, you go up or down the stairs, and then you walk, and then past the cafe and through the gate, and then from the gate you go uphill, and then tada, you are at the student center. But if you're not really answering in order, the student center is over there, and then over there you walk, from there you walk over there. Like, you should give giving directions from the beginning, not from the middle, from the end. That's the whole thing about quality. How some people give very confusing directions, for example? They are not following, they're completely flouting the maximum quality. Okay, semantic roles. What kind of semantic roles are we talking about here, Sabik? Okay. All right, so I'll cover Sabik's question, then I'll cover what you call this. I'll cover Fasih's question, yeah? Okay, semantic roles. So basically, in a particular sentence, every word plays a different role, all right? Now, it's similar to, what you call this? It's very similar to, not to say syntax, even though syntax is involved later on in Gomba. It's very similar to, how do I describe this? Oh God. Actually, do we even talk? Yeah, I've never really talked about semantic roles in class in the first place. All right, but basically different parts, okay, different words play a different role in a sentence. Okay, let me just give a sample here. Right, let's say for example, he ate, okay, he ate the food with a fork, for example. All right, now I'm gonna ask you this question. All right, did he eat the food with a fork, meaning did he use the fork, or did he eat the food together with the fork? So which one is the one that is receiving the action? Okay, Fadila, depends. I have to see the sentence, Fadila, because there are many ways to beat around the bush. Okay, so you say that he's using the fork, right, Madiha? Okay. So in semantic roles, you define, okay, for example, okay, this word is what, this word is what, all right? So again, the reason why we never go deep into this, because semantic roles also belong to something called descriptive grammar, all right? And I really don't understand why George Yule has a very, I would say, he has a very unusual way of dividing the chapters. Like for example, if you read in the book the Semantic Roles, you have like patient, creator, theme, and all that. That actually belongs to descriptive grammar, which is very unusual. All right, I don't know why he put it under semantics, even though it is related to semantics. But anyway, so basically, semantic role is what does each word do. All right, which one is the one receiving the action, which one is the one doing it. That's about it. That's pretty much about it about semantic roles, all right? The book does have the categories for the semantic roles, and that's about it. At your level, you're not doing much with it yet, all right? Okay, let's go to Fasia's question. So back to phonology, the word for Wednesday. All right, nope, only one arrow for the coda, which means this is your coda over here. Uns, all right? But when you write the structure Wednesday, so it'll be a CVCC, all right? But the CC is under one branch, all right? And that never came out for the quiz, right? Hint, hint, hint. How you draw the diagram, I believe it's in the book. It's a bit hard for me to actually illustrate here. I'll try. Let me see. I'll just try to do it in a presentation form. Okay. Because I don't have that Google thing. I have to use Google Meet in order to activate that actually. All right, so let's say if I were to do, hold on, where's the line? Oh God, it's not here. Okay, never mind. I'll use this one lah. I obviously haven't used this in a while. So let's say if I were to do a line. Okay, let's say, where is my line? You know what? I'll just open Google for this. Just give me a second, yes, Sabik. I'll do it for you. So let's say. Okay, just give me a moment. I'll show how to draw it. Okay. Just a second. All right, I activated my Google Jamboard here. So, okay, I think you can see it now, right? So, I think you remember this one, right? And then you will break it into two over here. So let's say you have the word, let's say, for example, Wednesday, all right? So, okay, so forgive me for my really horrible writing using this. So your Wednesday, all right? So your onset nucleus and your coda, right? So in the onset position, you have this one. This looks very horrible. And then in your rhyme over here, you can refer to the book. God, this looks like a kid's drawing, by the way. All right, and then you have this in your coda position. God, this is so horrible. So it looks something like this, but nicer, okay? And then of course for day, then you have another one, but you don't have the, what you call this? You don't have the coda for day, all right? All right. Embarrassing drawing, go away. Disappear, please. All right, thank you. All right. Any other questions? I'll entertain questions for another 2 minutes. And then, hold on. Huh? Yeah, you have to write the coda and onset and all that. Thank you, Madiha, for notifying, because I don't have the book with me right now. You see, my book is in Gambang in the office. Yep, Hakim, you have to write coda and onset. All right, any other questions? Okay, so I hope everybody's okay. Before I end this, okay, what is the most problematic chapter for all of you? Sorry. Speech acts. You have to know the three components. You have the locutionary act, you have the perlocutionary act, and you have the illocutionary act, all right? So make sure you know what the three components of the speech acts are, okay? So yeah, just three components. Shouldn't be that difficult. Phonetics, okay, Madiha, for phonetics, all I can say is you need a lot of practice and a lot of reading. I know some people ask me on WhatsApp a few questions, and I hope it doesn't get frustrating, because phonetics can be on the challenging side of things. Okay, anything else? But I would say that the biggest danger for the final exam is, it's very easy to get confused between the chapters, because some stuff is very, they're so similar and sometimes they do overlap. For example, a lot of students will mix up connotation and implicature. Sometimes it's very easy to, confuse phonetics and phonology. All right. So take it easy and do it one by one. Make sure you know which one is which. There is quite a lot to cover, but hopefully you have enough time, all right? So yeah, I've covered a lot, right, in the syllabus. Okay, what else? Okay, if there's nothing else, I will end this revision stream. And yeah, again, I've been saying this even in our final online class. It feels really odd that, what you call this? We ended without meeting. Hopefully, we'll meet someday eventually if we get to meet. Okay, connotation. Yeah, more or less, connotation does have to do with the schema in a sense. Okay, which topics are similar? Okay, Hakim, semantics and pragmatics, it's very easy to get confused. Very easy. And implicature is all about what yes, you got it right, Sabik. So whatever the speaker intends to say, all right? Whereas connotation, sometimes, you say something without realizing that that word has a very negative or positive impact. Even though the word is actually just fairly ordinary. For example, let's say, a girl suddenly calls a guy abang, all right? Now, abang, even though it's a sense of respect, it's a sign of respect to older guys, but the other connotation of abang is normally known as an affectionate word, because even lovers, even wives will sometimes call their husbands abang, kan? But of course, I don't like that lah. Don't you dare call me that either. I don't like the word abang. It sounds so weird to me. It's like, I don't want someone to call me brother. That's so unusual. So yeah, the word abang has that sort of romantic connotation for some people. All right. Let's not do what's that word? What does that word mean? I have no idea because I do not speak Indonesian. All right. So anyway, I do appreciate all the questions today. I wish all of you the very best for your final exam on the 12th. I'm sorry that I cannot physically be there, but please do know I'm praying for everybody's success on Thursday next week. Oh, you went off tangent. I don't know, Hakim. I haven't finished watching all yet. I think I just finished watching 10. And I'll be giving the marks eventually. Oh, speaking of videos, all right. So I have a rather busy schedule this week. I mean, even though I'm not on campus, but I'm working from home, so I have quite a lot of paperwork to do and stuff. So what's gonna happen is I can't guarantee what day actually because of my schedule, but probably maybe on if not Friday, maybe on Saturday night or maybe on the following Monday night. I will be doing a premiere where I will be, just sharing some of the videos online because honestly, some of the videos are really good. And I regularly do showcase my students' videos on my Twitch streams, just to highlight that this is the progress of today's students when when it comes to their creativity. Because honestly, some of you had some very interesting ideas and interesting editing skills going on, and I think that's something you really need to pursue. For some, I noticed that it's still a learning process, and that's not bad. We all learn and we all are progressing in life. All right. And then yeah, speaking of that, You feel free to ask questions when I do my Twitch streams. All right, I might have a short Twitch stream 10 minutes after this stream ends. So if you have any more questions while I play games, you can, you can have a nice chat and talk about linguistic stuff. I don't mind. But the more complicated stuff, it might be a bit difficult to answer, but I'll still try to answer. So this week, let's see, I probably will be streaming a little bit tonight. Tomorrow, if I do, maybe in the afternoon or morning, depending on how busy I am. Wednesday, probably no stream. Thursday, probably no. Friday, maybe. But on Sunday afternoon, evening, I do. All right. That's if you're interested, of course. All right. All right. So that's all for now. Thank you, everyone. All the best. And if there are any more questions, just ask on the group or just drop by my streams and let me know if you have any questions. So thank you, everyone. I'm signing off.